righty.
Main event, guys.
Yes.
Main event. We went out to the theaters.
Yes.
We grabbed our snacks. I had my buttery popcorn.
I had some pretzel bites.
He had his pretzel bites, and we sat down. And we watched the movie Midsommar. We seen the trailer.
Yeah.
Thought we knew what we were in for.
Yeah.
We were totally unaware.
Yeah. Definitely not.
Unaware.
Definitely not conventional. I put it
Definitely not conventional.
Oh, man.
At all. This is the same gentleman, I believe, writer and director.
Yes.
Who did Hereditary.
Yeah. With Toni Collette. I don't even think that there was anybody else of some sort of stature in the movie, but the movie had the daughter who was brand new. She was really good.
Yep.
But this one, same thing. Some good actors coming to a movie and just laying it all out there.
Laying it all out there. Yeah. There was some great performance. Let's talk about the trailer.
Yes.
The trailer, you know something eerie is happening.
Yes.
You don't really understand. They leave a lot out. But just by the images, you can tell there's some culty, freaky shit going on.
Yes.
That's enough for me to sign up.
Yeah.
It's enough. It's enough for me to sign up.
What did you expect?
Sex cult.
Yeah. Okay.
That's generally sex cult and a little bit of killing, a little bit of sacrificing.
What's the movie with Nicolas Cage, The Wicker Man?
Mm-hmm.
I kind of That's what I was like. This is gonna be a little something. And then I saw that it was 2.5 hours long. I was like,
I didn't know that in advance. I realized once we got out.
Yeah, because
they managed time well. It felt like you were there, but it didn't feel like 2.5 hours.
Because it draws you in.
It draws you in.
Like you are immersed in this world.
You are on the journey with these characters.
I'm just like, I would be doing anything and everything these people want right now. I don't care what they asking.
Yeah. So your initial thoughts
after the movie?
After the movie.
Okay, so I didn't even know if I liked. Like I was just.
I don't know.
I can't even say right now.
Yeah.
I'm definitely on the fence because I definitely was like, okay, this is definitely different, and I can see this being a totally new brand of movie. But it's not your conventional horror movie.
It could have been 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
They could have cut it down.
Yes.
But I think that I like that they didn't cut it down.
Right. Because it leaves you immersed in it.
You are immersed.
Yeah. There's no way of getting out
of it. It is
this.
a journey.
Yeah. It may be too heavy for some people. Like, you may have to get up and get out.
It's not for everybody.
Yeah, it's definitely not for everybody.
It's not a traditional horror film. It's a departure from what we've seen with Child's Play.
Yes. Oh.
That's closer to tradition.
Yeah. We don't. And like I said, these movies, the reason why there's so much, I feel like there's so much eerie and scarier is because you're like, this could be happening right now. This could be so real.
I'm sure it's happening right now. And it's not as far as Sweden.
Right. Yes.
Because there's plenty of areas in the United States that are disconnected
from the world, yes.
Yes.
So I definitely looking at it and you're just like, man, you probably ran into some of these people half the time. That's whenever I think about movies and the scare factor is just like, how connected could my world be to this?
Yeah.
Like, have I run into someone like this?
All I'm saying is right now, we go on trips. And the next time somebody asks me, Justin, do you want to go on a trip with me? I need
more information.
I need more information.
These dudes didn't have anything. Like,
show me what's that website you go on to see pictures of hotels and shit?
Oh, what travel TripAdvisor?
TripAdvisor.
Yeah,
show me the TripAdvisor pictures, dog. Show me the TripAdvisor pictures.
Yo, I felt like I definitely need more information. You can't, because it felt like he was.
It's a festival,
right? The friend who was, I guess, like the kid from Where the Millers. Yep. Like, he's the one who's like setting it up. If you don't know what the itinerary is by time you get there, something's wrong. Like,
true.
I need to know what the week looks like, the days.
Yep.
Like, I just need a rough idea.
It was going so crazy. I was waiting for Ja Rule to pop out and be like, "This is Fire Fest."
Welcome to the real Fire Fest.
Why?
Yeah.
Why, Ja?
You got me. You
Why?
got my money. You can't just tell me that we're going to a festival. I need to know, like, what am I bringing? Like,
Can I get an Uber out of here?
Yeah. Oh man! I mean, there was a couple points where I was just like, "Ooh, you couldn't catch me out there."
No.
Like, and I don't know, maybe being from New York, we got that little spider sense where I'm just like, "No, it's time to go."
Nothing feels right.
When the dude went to sleep in his sneakers, I was like, "Yep, right there."
Yes.
That would have been my first night there.
Yes.
I would have.
Yes,
I would
I
have been
gotta
ready
run.
to go.
But what direction do you run?
Man, they only got one car. Like you
have
only see the one truck.
That's scarier than a gun.
And I'm just like, where the rest of them cars go?
Listen, 4 hours on vehicle. You cannot walk that or run that. That's days. That's underground railroad territory.
Yep. Oh man.
Like you cannot get that far.
I don't know, man. I've been camping, so I know. Like I feel like I can make it. I feel like I can get out. But I mean, I would have got out.
Yes.
I felt like some people that just stay in a situation. Just it's no problem.
All I'm saying is, right now, I'm winning every dance battle.
Yo,
because that seems like the only way to survive. Every dance battle, I'm prone to win. Now I don't care because my life is on the line potentially.
Yes, and I could win.
If you've seen this movie, you will understand that situation.
Have your dancing shoes on. Be ready.
Now, so let's talk about it.
Okay,
let's talk about it. It's almost extremely hard to summarize the movie, guys.
Right,
extremely hard to summarize the movie because so much happens. But a girl goes through some outrageous tragedy.
Yes,
she's in a relationship. The boyfriend wants to break up with her.
Ben wanted to break up with her. The tragedy strikes. She loses 3 people in her family. So basically she ends up clinging to the boyfriend. The boyfriend can't break up with her because he knows that she needs him right now. Right.
Him and his friends are planning this trip to Europe, to Sweden. And one of the friends is from Sweden area. He says, I want to take you around Sweden. They plan to stay in Europe for a month and a half.
Right.
So this was only a part of their trip.
Right, exactly.
She ends up going with them to Sweden. The friend that's taking them to Sweden always seemed a little creepy, but maybe he's just a hippie.
Right.
They get there. It's just odd.
Right.
It's very odd.
I've been to like things where it's a little off.
Yes.
And I was just like, see, this is like when the antenna goes up. I'm going to keep my eyes open.
Yep.
The first moments of that I feel like, I got to go. I'm going to go, you know? So.
The first moment is when you first get there. Everybody's giving you drugs and is doing drugs.
Yeah. What about the greeting? You don't like the greeting? The whole hand, the hand behind your head? Like, yeah, what's up, son?
The only time I seen men do that is when one person's about to get body slammed. That's when it's okay. WWE, I'm fine with that. Okay. Otherwise, it's just odd.
Yeah.
No waka flocka, but it's odd.
This was definitely for me, that whole, like I said, Wicker Man.
Yeah.
A little bit of Eyes Wide Shut. A
little
bit of The Shining.
Yes.
Yeah. So I kind of...
Was it too mixed up, though? Was it too mixed up?
No, I think... All right, so my biggest problem, and I mean, when you watch Hereditary, you're going to think the same thing. His movies drag. Like, he's really telling a story.
He really is.
And for people who really like those horror movies that, like, you really, from the beginning to the end, getting something... A lot of people are going to be turned off from this.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's very slow.
So,
but it's visually appealing.
Yeah.
He takes time with his shots.
Is amazing. Yeah.
He knows how to set up a camera.
Yeah.
Him and the cinematographer know how to set up a fucking camera. And they leave it.
Yeah.
And when they move it, it's special.
Yeah.
But when they leave it, the framing is beautiful.
He knows what he's doing.
He knows what he's doing. This is beautiful filmmaking. Yeah. But is it great storytelling? It's beautiful filmmaking, but is it great storytelling? Because I don't feel any payoffs.
Right.
There were no plot payoffs.
Right.
There was no learning about anybody. We just learned about what this event was.
Right. It was so close to like a coming of age movie for her. Like, for the lead actress. Like that's the weird part where it's just like I would have said this is.
I don't know if I like the ending.
I felt like...
Was it that serious?
It didn't have a strong enough climax for me.
It didn't have a strong enough climax.
Yeah. So
there was a climax.
Yeah, there was. Oh, believe me, there was a climax. There was.
This was R. This wasn't. I thought this would have been NC-17.
Yeah, definitely.
This was R. I guess because it didn't have that many moments of it.
Right.
But
it could have had more moments.
Spoiler: why did she choose him? Why? Like, was it that serious?
Yeah.
Or has she just gone crazy?
You want me to tell you the truth?
Yeah.
He was a family.
He wasn't family.
That's why I feel like it was a coming of age movie. Like,
so you think that the conversation that she had with the guy, the Swedish guy, really got to her?
Yeah, like
because she's looking for family,
right? And I feel like her whole thing was she's been looking for that her whole life, even before the tragedy, and that's kind of the whole thing. And you could tell from him saying that she clings on to him.
Yes.
And it was the first time that like she felt,
and they treated her special.
Right. Like, yo, this is
for dancing on drugs.
Yeah. Okay, I'm with this. So
I get it. You know, the funny thing is, I want to. It's weird because I want to watch it again.
Right.
I want to watch it again because the images were beautiful.
Right.
From the beginning, and they spent a lot of time because a lot of movies would just cut right through the death that she experienced. But no, they give us a full entrance, and I'm like, oh man, and first of all, her performance is amazing.
Yeah, her performance
because the pain.
Yeah.
Now, when the people were mimicking her pain, like, what was that about?
We're all one. I feel like
we're all one.
Yeah.
So what you feel, I feel.
Yeah.
What you feel, I feel.
That's kind of how I felt. I felt like the movie just it kind of just it's that whole like welcoming, and there's the one part in which he's so good about it is the fact that everybody's in unison except for the ones who are not supposed to be there.
Yes.
So it's kind of like you kind of feel that like, damn, like they really stand out.
Yes.
Not just a little bit. Like, you are not supposed to be here. And I mean, I think that it was so.
Or were they, because they were supposed to invite new blood?
Right. But the whole thing is that like you're just here for the moment. You're not even here as part of us.
Okay.
You're just here for the ceremony.
Got you.
So.
Got you. So we're just gonna keep.
It's that heavy, y'all.
It's that heavy, guys.
Y'all
it's that heavy. It's that heavy. So okay. So as we're in this journey, and these things are unfolding, and the black kid who's trying to, he's somewhat figuring. I feel like he knew what was going to happen.
Yeah.
In the first
he
sacrifice, but he kind of kept it to himself because he wanted to see it as an anthropologist. Listen, I would not have been the first couple because I would not have been that loud.
Right. You can't.
I'm on to game now.
Right. Exactly.
I'd have been like, give me the mallet.
Yeah. It's my turn.
It's my turn,
right.
sire.
Like, I mean, how many stories have we heard of, natives killing outsiders?
Yes.
Like, that's the whole thing. Like,
absolutely.
That would have been the first thing I thought. I would have been like, let me not cause a scene.
Yes.
Because you don't know what's going to happen or how they take this. So,
yes.
Yeah. But I mean, it's good.
Now, everything, the whole thing about it is the sacrifices I can almost kind of live with because they were sacrifices, and sure, that's in their tradition. Right. But they kill a few people.
Yeah.
The new blood is who they kill.
Yeah.
Everybody there sacrifices themselves, but they kill the new blood. And that's where the director and the writer are disconnecting us to say, okay, well, this is kind of the wrong part. Yeah. Everything kind of feels like, oh, we can deal with some truth. Yeah. And I mean, it's in a lot of religious texts. Sacrifices in a lot of religious texts. It's in a lot of ideologies.
But
what was in the meat pie though? Oh. They don't tell us.
I only saw one cow. And I only seen many cows. To feed them all.
They just slaughtered one cow. But wait, they did slaughter the guy. He was hung like a cow. It was him.
So the one thing that I really did I'm trying to pull these pieces.
Yeah.
Like, cause one of the parts that I felt like they told the whole story in the beginning, and then there's a part where you had what just walked out, where they went along the clothesline, and there's more stories on the clothesline. So
the walls have all the stories.
yeah. So the other part was the fact that on a side note, if she didn't become that at the end,
Yes.
would she have been one of them? Because someone had to volunteer at the end.
Someone had to volunteer.
So that's why I was kind of like, anyways, but regardless. So everything goes in 18-year segments, right? Mm-hmm. But they have this thing in 90 years, right? Mm-hmm. Every 90 years.
Yeah.
So if that first 18 and then the second 18 is every season, and then at 72 you're done. But then from 72 to 90, like that's why I was just like, that's another 18-year gap. But what does that mean?
What does that mean?
So I don't know. But regardless, it's a heavy movie. Everyone go see it.
It's a heavy movie that leaves you with a lot of questions.
Yeah.
But I can't say that that's not on purpose.
Right.
I think this is, if you want to go to a movie and have a weird experience,
Right.
question a whole bunch of things. What the hell did I just watch? I think the number one thing I question is, what the hell is going on in the mind? Like, if this was all fully just created and just thought about, very interesting mind. But I feel like a lot of these things were pulled from ancient tradition and just mashed together.
For me, it was it's way better artistic than it is as a story or a movie. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's so much, like if you're just going in like you're going to watch a piece of art.
Yes.
As opposed to, I'm going to go watch or read or view this amazing story. It's not that.
I'm surprised that this had a full release.
Right.
This is not a movie after most people seeing. I mean, granted, he has a name, but the movie in itself looks like a Cannes winner.
Right. There's something that we would have watched at the Angelique Theater.
Yes, it's definitely not something that I thought would have a full release, but I'm happy it had a full release because we're able to have this discussion, and people who are just going in to see a horror film are going to be like, whoa.
Right. What do you give it?
I have one score. I'm scoring this probably really tough.
Yeah.
But I have to give it all these disclaimers. It's a movie I would tell people to go see. Mm-hmm. But only movie fans. I would never tell my wife to go see it.
Right.
I would never tell a person who hasn't experienced certain films. If you haven't watched The Shining, if you haven't watched like Old Boy, if you're not in that genre of understanding, like, this is a wild ride. Mm-hmm. If you don't need the big payoffs, the big showdowns,
right?
If you want to see some beautiful framing, first of all, the performances are Oscar-worthy performances for me.
Yeah,
her performance is outrageous.
Yeah, it's great.
If you don't put this in the context of a scary film, she gave one of the best dramatic performances I've seen ever, because she's not responding to really death. She's not responding to being fearful of things. She's responding as a human being going through trauma,
right?
Which is an amazing experience to watch, and they gave amazing performances. But the movie doesn't set up and pay off,
right?
Or in the way that I assumed it would do, or the way I would think that movies would.
Right.
Like other scary films. I don't know what I watched yet.
Right.
But I got to give it a 2.53.
Okay.
It's tough because it's not a bad movie.
Right.
It's far from a bad movie. Every movie fan out there, I would say, go watch this.
Right.
This is an interesting piece of art.
Right.
Interesting piece of art. But when it operates as a story,
yeah,
I don't know where I was supposed to build up, and the ending let me down.
Right.
The ending truly, truly let me down, because as much as I'm on the journey with them, I didn't see how she arrived to that.
Right.
It didn't get me to that. It didn't get me over that hump. That conversation didn't create that for me. I like that they did that because I like that there's a twist. Because they definitely didn't build up for her to love him still.
Right.
Definitely didn't build up for that. I like how the girl was crying that. I knew it was him because I was like, damn, she just lost her. She just made it with him. Yeah. That was it. Every scene that was weird and odd, it's like sitting down as a writer is like, wow, this would be creepy. Right. They're standing around, they're naked, they're making these sounds.
It would be like, why would they do this? Like, to have that genesis of an idea, like, why would someone do something like this, or what would make people do that? Like, I feel like that's the cult aspect of
only tradition. You have to be raised to not understand that this is different. Right. This is weird. But the whole thing, as we go into the what's your rating before we go any further?
So, all right. Honestly, I gave it a 2.5. Okay. Like, that was my idea from the beginning was like, all right, if the cinematography was any other movie, this would have been a 2. Mm-hmm. But for the fact that the cinematography is so upper level. Level. That's what gives me the 2.5. Because as a story and as just a movie in general, it's a 2.
Framing is gorgeous. This is one of those weird films that people, I think, will break down, or is going to be in people's certain lists. It's going to be in their category of, do you want to see a person use a camera to one of its this is what it's supposed to look like. Right. Now, story aside, this is how you make images.
This makes me debate whether I would want him filming someone else's story, as opposed to him writing it.
Yes,
you know what I mean.
Absolutely.
So, but like I said, I mean, just based off of that, like, just off of camera work alone and cinematography, I would easily say that it's one of the best films.
Set design,
it's
costume,
and then the contrast between. So this is the one reason why I felt like, especially the way that this is the one way where filming tells a story, whereas the contrast of the winter and the summer, and being from the States and then getting to the town, and it's like polar opposites, and you're just like, oh, okay. Because honestly, originally I was like, maybe they're all dead and they died in the plane crash. That's why the plane shook, and I was like, maybe that happened. I was like, nah. But I mean, it just shows that he's great at that part of the aspect of telling a story with just the camera, not even anything else. So I wish he could film someone else's stuff.
Now, I mean, the question is, are they still on their acid trip? I mean, are they still on the mushroom trip?
See.
It's still possible because she woke up. We don't know.
Right.
We don't know. Because they did take shrooms. But listen, this is the great thing about this film, is now I have to go and start looking at people talk about this movie. Right. This is the way that you end up geeking out about things. So even in our score, people, even in this 2.5 score, you got to understand that this is still a watchable movie, and this is something that you want to conversate about.
Right.
But not with everybody.
Nope.
Don't send your mother unless she loves cinema.
Right.
But man, it's a lot of things go on.
Yeah. If you see it, let us know about it. Let us know what you think.
Man.
Oh, man.
2.5s, people.
Yeah.
Midsommar. Wow.